Welcome to my channel. I'm William T, and today we're making the Albion dress. Well, they're actually separate, but you get the idea. We're starting off with the pleated overskirts. I created a template in Adobe Illustrator to mark where all the fold lines are. And you'd want to print 2 copies so you can sandwich the tool in between. Fold all the horizontal lines first. This will create darker lines running across the overskirt. If you cut nicks on the edge of the paper where the fold lines are, it makes it that much easier to fold correctly. After you fold the horizontal lines, fold the vertical ones. I'm doing knife pleats here that change directions every 5 pleats. And using a ruler to crease the line makes it easier to fold as well. This is probably the most time-consuming part because each tulle panel is 3 meters and I have to do that 4 times. Once everything's folded, sandwich the tulle in between the 2 templates and refold it again, pin everything and iron. I found putting a piece of parchment paper over everything allowed the iron to glide over the pins. And remember to use glass head pins because you don't want your pins to melt. Flip your template over and iron again just to be safe. Once everything's cooled down, you can unfold the template. This was probably the most nerve-wracking part for me because I didn't know whether the heat had penetrated the paper and pleated the tulle underneath. But looky here, it worked! Ooh, it's so pretty! Now, because I'm using nylon, just heat alone won't create a permanent pleat. So what I'm using is a Raja cloth, and that's been chemically treated to create a permanent pleat in synthetic fabrics. Just steaming it will release the chemicals into the nylon tulle, creating a permanent pleat. To help set the pleat, I'm using my handheld vacuum. What I'm trying to imitate here are the industrial ironing boards with suction. What that suction does is it draws away the heat and moisture, so it sets the pleat. Here's where things started going downhill. I wanted to play with the volume of the pleated overskirt, and when I pleated it, I had sandwiched 2 layers of tulle in there. So here's me pitting it as I envisioned in my head, and now trying it with 4 layers of tulle. And then what I thought was a good idea at the time, I split that 1 layer into 2 layers, put it on the mannequin to see how it looked, and then I couldn't put it back together again.
Big mistake. Big. Huge.
So what I had to do was start over from the very beginning, reprint my template, fold it, sandwich it, iron it, and then set it. Now onto the pants. I bought some really lovely silk satin, but I think I'm finding that a little bit too thin. Time to break out the fusing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sandwich the fusing in between the silk satin and some cotton voile. Just because this fusing has adhesive on both sides, it will create a stiffer fabric and a nice finish on the inside. I think sewing the pants is quite easy, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it. Just because the fabric is silk, I haven't used a pen or chalk to mark the drill hole. Instead, I used a piece of string. I'll be using the overlocker to finish up the seams inside. Just because there's already 3 layers of fabric, I didn't want to add any extra bulk. The final piece is a leotard. I first created a high-waisted brief, and because I don't have a pattern for the top, I will be draping on the dress form, using draping tape to mark the design lines. I don't follow any pattern making rules here, I just do what I think will look good. It's all about experimentation. Once you've got your design down, you can start draping. I have the grain line of the fabric going along the front seam. I'm doing this because I don't want the front seam to stretch. Once you've pinned everything, mark down all the lines, cut and then sew. Now we're just going to do some hand pleating with the tulle and we're almost done. With this, there's a lot of experimentation. Just gotta try and see what looks good. This is the final design I came up with. I'm really loving the texture of the tulle against the skin tone fabric. And there you go. Thank you so much for watching. Click to the left to see part 2, where we do a little runway show and photo shoot with the fabulous Emma Barton. Click to the right to see how I made the thread rack behind me. Thank you. Bye.